Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of No Title Needed, coming to you from the beautiful Feinstein's Cabaret at the Hotel Carmichael in Carmel, Indiana, USA. Who are we?
Well, I'm Scott Osborne.
Oh my God, and I'm Cynthia Collins. We're your co-hosts. And our guest today is really very interesting, in my opinion.
I think so.
Maria Cofer.
Hello.
Maria, thank you for being here, first and foremost.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, you raced cars since you were a little kid.
Yes,
correct?
I did. Yeah, I did for 12 years. I started when I was 12, and then I did it for 12 years after that.
Okay, so starting all that, because you were like chit-chatting a little bit before we got started here, that it's very male-dominated, and it still is, the whole racing industry. But what got you started on that? What got you started to get into it? Whatever you got into first.
Sure.
A go-kart or whatever you started when you were 12.
Sure. So I started in go-karts, and what got me started was my dad used to race. He did dirt midgets, and when he got hurt, which ended his career, and then after his injury, he transferred into doing drag racing, and he was doing a lot of fabrication work for other people and building other cars, and him doing that work really drew me into the shop. I loved learning how to do the fab work with him, learning how to build a motor, and I just fell in love with cars in general. And then I asked to start going to the drag races. I loved doing that. It was like my favorite thing. So when I was 12, I was actually at a basketball game. We were having a tournament. My mom was my coach. And after the basketball tournament, my dad took me to the go-kart races a few hours down the road, and we watched on Saturday my very first dirt race in person, and then on Monday we were picking up my first race car. So
what was
sold?
Right?
From that point on, yep.
And your father was like, "This is it, you're doing it." He was all supportive.
Yes. I mean, he never asked me if I wanted to race, which I thought was pretty cool, really. So he never pressured me into doing it. That was kind of our rule from day one, was we're doing this because we love it and we're having fun. There was no pressure from early on to where my career went to, or even throughout it. It was just him and I doing it because we love to do it. Yeah. And so for that, I couldn't, I'm so thankful for that experience.
What was first? Yeah, go ahead.
How did sharing that passion build your relationship with your dad?
Yeah, we were like two best buds. I'll forever be so thankful for it. Just the time that you spend together, whether it's traveling to the track and racing is such an up and down sport, highs and lows. The highs are high, the lows are low. And going through those emotions together, I feel like also just brought us so close together. And he's always such a solid, grounded guy that it kept me very solid and like level, I felt like, throughout it all. So I'm so thankful for that.
What are those first cars like? You said go-kart.
Go-karts.
What are there's so many different kinds. I mean, what explain it to us?
So it's like a typical go-kart frame. So you're like 4 inches from the ground, and then these ones had a roll cage on top with a wing on top of that, and then a dirt bike, like a 250 dirt bike engine on the side, or the bigger class was a CR500 dirt bike engine on the side. So
moving.
They were, ripping.
And it was just like a regular track, but maybe smaller for kids?
Yeah, somewhat smaller, but I mean, we ran on some bigger tracks that they ran bigger cars at too, but we had no business. I remember during the summer we ran this league at a place called Cycleland Speedway, and I was probably from 14 to 16. We'd be racing these karts and averaging a speed of 80 at 14 to 16 years old. And I was just looking back, I'm like, what were we doing? But it was so fun and so exhilarating.
And when you're that low to the ground, it feels like you're going substantially faster.
Yes, it does.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And then when you got your license, you're like, driver's license.
So
you're like, oh, please.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, I grew up on a ranch, so I was driving ranch rigs around fairly young, so I was pretty familiar. and comfortable driving a car.
So at 16, when you did get your license, did that at all change your enthusiasm of the drive of racing? Do you know what you get what I'm asking?
I think so.
Okay.
But I don't think it did change anything. You know, when you're driving your race, like there's so many other people on the road with you that you have to be considerate of them, and you can't apply any of your racing techniques really on the road, just for everyone else's safety and your own.
Unless you want to end up in the Hooskow.
Right.
For a
We
night.
don't want that. We don't want that. I'd rather save my racing for the weekends and get it out then.
Right.
Did your dad, and your dad obviously very instrumental, and he was with you your whole 12 years, but what was his participation?
Yeah, he was like I guess you could say my main mechanic. There was a couple points in my career where I had gotten hired on by other teams. And some of those teams he would come and I'd bring him with me, and then other times I wouldn't. But if I could, I would always try to bring him with me as like my main guy, my main mechanic, the guy that you talk to and go over about setups and strategies and all of that. So
It's always good to have like a right hand in your position.
Yeah, and you really, I feel like having a good chemistry between your mechanic or your main engineer is so important. It's a very crucial piece of the puzzle when you're trying to build a race team. And so him and I having such a good bond and understanding each other so well, you know, it was just such an easy, natural thing to do together that if I could bring him, I'd love to. But it's also good to, you know, not always have to rely on one person and to learn some new stuff from other people too. But
Is the car fit to the driver sometimes, or the driver fit to...
So the seat is fit to you.
Okay.
The seat in the steering wheel position and the pedal positioning is fit to you.
Sure.
Otherwise, not really. You set the car up to each driver though. So you make different adjustments on the car and tune it like to dial into the driver's preferences, because every driver is a little different. So
Yeah. What's the biggest race before you kind of retired from racing? What's the biggest, right? What's the biggest race you did?
For me, it was the Chili Bowl Nationals. It happens in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And that is like the Dirt World's Indy 500, or, you know, so that was always one of my biggest races that I held near and dear to my heart and looked forward to every year. And
A goal,
it
kind
was
of
definitely
originally.
a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a goal. So that was probably the biggest one.
Are
for
they
me.
you know how all the cars are like, there's the Indy car and then there's the
Different
Formula. Right.
Yep.
What were you what were you in?
So in the type of racing I did, it was kind of its own category, and there weren't really. I was in a USAC midget, is what they were called, and that was kind of the top of.
What do they look? What are those?
How do I explain those?
Do they look like Indy cars tinier?
No.
I don't know. One
how to
car's
explain what
tinier.
they
I don't know.
look like.
NASCAR tinier.
Kind of like I mean, I wouldn't want to like combine like truck, but like there's an element, right,
Yeah.
of truck to cart kind of combination.
Yeah, it's very hard to explain.
Yeah.
I'll have to show you a picture
Okay.
sometime.
Okay,
Because
okay.
I'm not really sure. But yeah, like car adjacent-ish.
Yeah.
And on asphalt or dirt or both?
So they do combos, they used to do combo cars back in the day, and they did used to do, you could have a pavement midget and a dirt midget. I did mainly dirt.
Okay.
For a couple years, I got to run the Errata's pavement midget, and we did a handful of races with that, which was really fun, but such a different discipline.
It's hard on dirt. I would think that'd be so
Totally different game.
hard.
Yeah. Totally
On
different.
a dirt track?
Yeah, dirt, I was all about the dirt. That was my world.
White flag in the air, 1 to go for Maria Cofer. And ladies and gentlemen, July 20th, 2019 is a night we'll all remember when Maria Cofer showed us all how it's done here at Petaluma Speedway. Maria Cofer wins.
Did you ever, do any like track racing?
So I never did any like road course racing at all. I joke, so my boyfriend is a race car driver now, and I kind of always joke with him that like I would get so lost if I was out there having to make all these different turns, and
No, I
like
doubt
I'll
it.
stick to the ovals.
I doubt
I'll
it.
stick
All
to
right,
the
listen, we
ovals.
got to take a quick break. I'm so
Okay.
sorry to interrupt you. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back after a word from our sponsor, Maria Cofer. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, we're lucky enough to have artist Randy Sorrell as our sponsor, and today he's going to show you a few of his beautiful pieces.
Check this out.
Say hello to Songbook Standards. This is an original acrylic, part of my music series that I completed in 2024. Sort of celebrating jazz and blues and cool clubs all across the nation, or the world. And if you dig music, man, you are going to love this one. Lavender Fields is part of my landscape series, and if you could see this in person, you would recognize how thick and juicy and packed full of color this painting is, and it really captures the lavender fields that you see in France and, sometimes here in Indiana. I think you're going to love this one.
Hey everyone, welcome back to No Title Needed with our guest Maria Cofer. She is a major midget driver. The midgets. I just saw a picture of one, which you will
Funny when
see.
you say it out loud.
Which you will see, I know.
Especially when she says it out loud.
But so interesting. First thing, where are you from?
I'm from a small town called McDowell, California.
Okay.
Yeah, population probably 1,500.
Where is
Okay.
that located? Like near?
10 miles from the Oregon border,
Oh, okay.
inland a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So.
Okay. So we were talking about on the break here. It's a sport, car racing, no matter what you're
Absolutely.
in, right?
Yeah.
And you have to be. I mean, I cannot imagine even. All I know is the IndyCar drivers, like watching the Indianapolis 500. But the strength just with the steering wheel and the, you have to be in really good shape. So what was your training regimen? You must have trained all the time.
Yeah, so you definitely want to keep up with training. And I think as far as like weights and cardio, that was pretty normal. I think the bit that they tagged onto it that was maybe a little outside of your regular regimen was they did a lot of cognitive work to keep up your reflexes. So then that way you had sharp reflexes and you could,
Right.
react.
Ball bouncing.
Yeah. Ball bouncing. They did a lot of like, it's like dots on a board and you have to like click the dots that show up in time,
Oh,
things
right,
like that,
right, yeah.
reactive training. So
Your reflexes
Yep.
and all that.
yeah, and that was kind of about it really, but we trained a lot. Yeah, got to stay in shape.
Yep.
And after you retired, what were you, like 24 or something? How old
Now
were you when
I'm
you-
26.
No, but when you ended.
It would have been, I was probably 24.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
24.
Did they ever
Okay.
get you into? I've seen these clips of like some intense like neck training.
Yeah.
Did you ever experience any of that?
So I didn't, not
Okay.
in my form of racing. In IndyCar, that's a big part of it. Those guys, their necks have to be so strong.
Yeah.
But in my form of racing, so the biggest difference is my races were like 30, 35 laps long. It was quick.
Okay.
It was like a sprint race. It wasn't these long duration 2-hour races. So with the sprint races, you could kind of get away with that. And not having to have such a strong neck, but that is something that the IndyCar guys do, and it's wild to watch them train their necks.
I believe it.
Yeah.
So now, what you're doing now, you're with Ed Carpenter.
So my boyfriend races for
Okay.
Ed Carpenter
Okay.
Racing, yeah, for ECR, and I go and support him. I'm lucky enough to be able to do that, and after I've stepped away from racing, I feel very fortunate that Christian and I are together, and I haven't been like removed from it completely, and I can travel with him and kind of still be involved in a way.
Yeah, what are you, I mean, and were you ever an engineer?
I
You
mean,
can do all that stuff. Your
yeah.
father taught you
Yeah,
about
so
engines.
when I was racing, yeah, I worked on all my own stuff and rebuilt cars, rebuilt engines, all that, but I don't do any of that anymore. Now I travel and support Christian on his race weekends and throughout his scheduling, and then I pick up jobs when I can that are like flexible to our schedule, because it's pretty tough to find something that's compatible with our lifestyle.
Right.
But my number one is to be able to go and support him on the weekends, and then pick up, like I said, what I can when we're home, and help him out in any ways that I can. But
Yeah.
That's
Are,
great.
are you working
Yeah.
with Heather Carpenter at all? Like you just said, you were like at the
Yeah.
warehouse with her
Yeah,
before you got
that's
over
like
here.
a quick Monday job that we do on Mondays. We get together and ship out some stuff out of warehouse.
Okay.
And fulfill orders.
Yeah, for the
but
team?
It's, for Sonex.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's just little things like that. Dog walking, anything that I
Yeah,
can.
staying
really.
busy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have all this knowledge in your head, right? Like through all those years. What's your dad? Obviously, your father. Is he? He's retired from it. Does he still like kind of do anything with cars?
So he still takes the dragster out twice a year, and they'll go run the Hot Rod Reunion in Bakersfield, California.
Oh my God.
And he will always be tinkering on something. He'll always have some sort of project going
Yeah.
on in the shop.
Yeah.
But other than that, my parents are farmers and ranchers, so they're busy running the ranch.
Still in the same ranch you grew up
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Yeah.
same one I grew up on, and so they definitely stay busy.
When do
too.
you get home to see them?
I go home for the holidays, for
That's
Christmas,
nice.
and then whenever I can, and whenever there's a race on the West Coast, I'll try to get out there before or stay after for a little bit and see
Right,
them.
right.
So we make
Right.
it work.
So,
Yeah.
a little bit back to racing, but is there a reason why you stopped, or was it just
Yeah.
kind of time, or what?
Yeah, I stopped due to injury.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
with concussion issues and a lot of headaches, and when you're racing on that schedule, we'd have so many races that I never allowed myself the time to like fully heal, and so then symptoms just got worse and worse, and I think I finally got to a point where I just took a step back and I was like, you know what, it's not worth it to me at this point anymore, and I kind of looked full picture of what I wanted in my life, and I just kind of decided it was time, and I didn't want anything permanent to happen. So
Right.
yeah, that's
So
what
do
it
you
is.
ever just?
I don't.
Do you ever just get in a? You don't like.
I
don't mean your regular car on the
Yeah.
street.
I don't really get the bug to like get back in a race car that much anymore, which is odd. But maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm not, maybe I do more than I think, because one of these last times we were home, my dad kept a couple of my old race cars, and he pulled them out, and we have a track at our house that I used to practice on, and we'd shake cars down there, and he pulled one of my cars out just to go run some laps just for fun, and someone made the comment of like, wow, look at the smile on her face, like, can't beat that. So maybe I do miss it more than I think, but
Yeah, I would think you'd save all those little cars you had,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
And do you ever get the urge to even just tinker with an engine?
Yeah, I get
Anymore.
that probably more than like the actual racing aspect of it,
Yeah.
Like I'd love to go and have a project car to build something or to
Right.
rework something.
Refurbish
or
Yeah, but I always say now I don't want to mess my nails up. So
Oh, come
that's why
on.
I don't do it.
Oh my God. You probably never go to the mechanic. I mean, you could fix your own car.
Yeah. That's
A perk.
yeah, a perk for sure.
You know?
Sometimes I bring it, but then they like to tell you all the things that you need to get done, and I'm just like,
Yeah, and you know better.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they don't know who they're dealing with. But, it's funny because who was saying, my partner Judy's always saying, you know what? She's like, I think everybody should learn how to fix stuff in their car.
yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
that what, like,
I
You
feel
know what I
like
mean?
Yeah.
changing a tire should be like a standard on the driving test.
It should be taught
Yeah.
in schools at this point.
yeah, when you look at an engine, you're like, okay, I know what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
for the most part, anyways.
Yeah.
Now with all the electronics, that's
Well, you
a
have
whole
an
other
electric car
thing.
and all,
But
you know, and even with a
if you give me
hybrid.
something
Yeah.
from the back, the basics,
Right.
I think I got that down.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now, your boyfriend's racing with Ed Carpenter. That's your main deal.
Yeah.
Traveling with them, supporting them, working with Heather a little bit. She was on here. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel very fortunate.
She's awesome.
A lot of fun.
To
Yeah.
know her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to learn from her.
Oh my God. Do you ever? Here's something. Do you ever go in the pit?
Yeah. I love, I love to just sit and hang out with all the mechanics as they're like working on the car or whatnot. Like, I really love to just not, I don't need to say anything, I don't need to talk to anyone, but I genuinely love to watch just like what they're doing and hang out with those guys. So
Pretty cool place to hang out.
it's a very cool
It
place
must
to
be
hang out.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
interesting.
It's very cool.
Wait, I have one last thing because I know we got to wrap it up, but it is very male dominated. There's only been a few. Well, in the IndyCar, there's only been very few women. And what you were doing, how many girls were with you? How many young girls were
Yeah.
doing this?
There was a handful of us, probably 6 to 10 of us, which isn't a lot in the grand, but also it's come so far in a short amount of time, you know. Like I was saying earlier, women weren't even allowed in the pit area. So to see where they're at now, to see drivers, to see these engineers, these mechanics, it's very cool to see how far the sport's come in a short amount of time.
Absolutely.
And I hope to see it grow and continue that way.
yeah,
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But what an interesting life.
Right.
Yeah. Thank
had,
you.
You know, I mean, and you must just relish that you did that. You got the opportunity to do what you loved to do as a kid, and your parents were totally supportive, and
Yeah.
you know, and your dad. I mean, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody's parents are like that. You know, your father
Yeah.
could have been like, "No way."
Yeah,
But
it
he
was a
like,
big commitment for them too, to support me in my dreams of
Yeah.
wanting to race, and I'll always have so much like gratitude towards them for that, and I'm so thankful to have that experience.
yeah. Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah, I
Thank
really
you for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Thank you so much. The best of luck with everything
Thank you.
you're doing in the future.
Thanks.
And and thank you for joining us for another episode of No Title Needed here at the beautiful Feinstein's Cabaret. Come on over, have a drink, see some great entertainment, something going on every night,
Yep.
right, Scotty?
Yep. Always something to do.
Gosh, there's always something swinging here at Feinstein's. So come on over and you won't be disappointed. And I am Cynthia Collins.
And I am Scott Osborne.
Always and forever, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.